already started the weekend from the way we enter the studio to the way we are dressed to even the vibe itself. So the weekend is here and we're looking forward to it. Thank you for being with us the whole week. And guess what? Being 1st December, I am excited to say that the Christmas season can officially start. Though some say it started on Thanksgiving, but how many people know Thanksgiving in Uganda? But yes, Christmas season is here, and also today we are celebrating World AIDS Day. And guess what? The campaign is we are supposed to make sure that by 2030 we are ending the spread of HIV. Yes, and I don't know what you are doing as an individual to stop the spread. Do you know your status? Do you get regular checks? A number of things that you have to do to make sure that, one, you stay negative if you are, and if you're positive, you keep on your medication. A lot that you can do to make sure that, you know, everyone has to be involved as we are trying to stop the spread of HIV and AIDS. Well, guess what? I'm not alone on set. I am with Olive Mwanikanajuma, as you can see. Good morning, Olive.
Good morning, Chantal. How are you doing?
I am very well. How are you? Looks like there's a memo for black today.
I know. Jerome Paul has tried to dilute it a bit, but still it is black and white.
Right.
Yeah. Good morning, Chantal. You've looked very beautiful for me this entire week.
Thank you. Oh my God. I'm blushing.
Yeah, the hair did it for me. And obviously, I love the weekend, you know, look when you tone it down, and you're more in your element actually. On Friday.
I can't hear you.
I'm releasing state secrets. But good morning, dear viewers. And like Chantal said, today Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate World AIDS Day. Now, as a country, Uganda, for us, this day is very special because we have come a long way from having an 18% infection rate to being at 5.1 as of today. Now that number has gone down, but we still have a lot to do on an individual level. We need to talk to our youngsters because according to the AIDS Commission, they're saying that the infection rate is more prevalent among young women and older men. So we need to talk to our daughters, especially now that they are on holiday, some are in vacation. We really need to talk to them. I know as parents we are busy, we have a lot to do, we get home late, but let's spare some time to bond and have such conversations with our children. And for you, an adult, obviously, you need to check and check and check. You need to know your status.
Right, you need to know your status, and of course, if you know, please keep it as it is. And if you are positive, we are past the days of stigmatization. So please take your medicine religiously, take good care of your health, eat well, rest well. You're likely to live even more years than some people who are recklessly living their negative lives away. So,
yeah,
good morning.
Like drinking, like you drink every day, you're affecting your liver.
Your liver, yes.
Yes, yet here you're just on medication. And it gets better, by the way.
Over the years, yes.
Yes, we have the vaginal ring that was passed introduced, green lighted by the National Drug Authority. So now ladies can have this inserted for a period of 1 month. You know, and when you have it, of course, they're saying it's not 100% secure because the 100% is abstinence.
Right.
But it's still, you know, a big move into prevention.
Wow. Great. Good morning, Sonko.
Well, good morning, Chantal. And good morning to our dear viewers. I should say as well that the two ladies that I'm having, or I'm standing in between, look so lovely this Friday.
You look
and
like
I don't know whether this is a sign to show that the month of December is going to be a good one for all of you, but I want to believe so because it is on a high note that we've actually kicked it off. Well, like the two have actually mentioned, it being the World AIDS Day, it is very important for us to go and test. Because every time you go to the hospital for testing, they will tell you it is always good for you to test after 3 months. You may not have it, but maybe your sexual partner may have it. So it is always better for you to check out for your own self and for your own good. And also, if you have a sexual partner, it is highly advisable you move with this particular person. And for those with the sickness, it is also good that we who do not have stop the stigmatization of the same. But also, since it is also a Friday, I want to also congratulate the Uganda Cricket Cranes. These particular ones made history by qualifying for their very first men's T20 World Cup. This came after they defeated Rwanda with a 9-wicket victory that saw them book their ticket. So Uganda will be represented in the Cricket World Cup next year. So when you look at that, that is something to look back and say, exactly. And also it clearly shows that our sports sector is really growing.
Now growing, yes, which is something that we need to also put focus on, especially if we are looking to have Uganda, I mean, crossover. We've crossed over, especially in the Olympics. Uganda has been really doing great. But if we can also cross over into other parts of sports, I think we could be doing really well for ourselves. But in other news, a very interesting story that I landed on this morning, and I'm so sure the two of you have heard it. The 70-year-old Namukwaya who gave birth to twins.
Yes.
I know preacher who calls them the golden mothers. So the golden mother gave birth to twins. How good can that get?
Well, it's quite impressive, and she's really happy about it. I was watching an interview she had with one of the media houses, and she said, ladies, when you're still young, don't give up. Actually, she said, don't give up about a dream to have a child if you want to have children. And she went on to say that nothing in this world can make you happier than having a child. Now, I understand that there are people who want to be child-free for the rest of their lives, and respect for you all. But for the people who want to have children, I will say what this lady said. Please do not give up. I mean, 70
years. And please do note that in 2020, she gave birth to a baby girl.
Oh, wait. She has other kids?
Yes.
I thought she only has the twins.
No, in 2020, she gave birth to a baby girl.
Oh,
now
wow.
she has given birth to twins.
Oh,
and when you look at the pictures, she doesn't look 70 per se. Honestly.
No, you know, she looks
honestly,
like,
she doesn't look 70.
A little bit more of a 60, 50.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Like 65,
70.
max 65.
So that means she's taking good care of herself in her
she looks
retirement
strong.
age.
I'll give her that. She did look strong, because some 70-year-olds, by then the back is hatching. They're speaking like something is hurting. But carrying a baby, matter of fact, twins to full term.
At 70, yes.
At 70.
And also, the viewer should as well note that is it conceiving or delivering? She delivered these ones at 8 months because of the fact that they had become too heavy for her because of her age.
Yeah,
according
usually,
to the doctor that helped
usually
her.
Twins also, it's very hard for someone to go full term.
It's very hard to go to 40 weeks. In most cases, they have them at around 36 weeks.
Well, that is the good news right there. Of course, so many stories are making rounds all over the country and in the world. And at this moment, we'll take a look at the local stories.
And we will start with the food for the vulnerable and disaster-prone areas that is rotting at the office of the Prime Minister. Over 20 tons of food meant for vulnerable and disaster-prone people is getting rotten in the office of the Prime Minister's stores at Namamve. According to OPM stores manager Mugisha, this was caused by failure to access the stores for 1 year since the investigators cordoned off the stores during the Karamoja Iron Sheets saga. While inspecting the stores, the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja condemned the incidents and pledged to forward the matter to Cabinet. And in more news, Ministry of Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance is improving technology and working with Uganda Communications Commission to come up with a mechanism to start blocking misinformation disseminated by citizen journalists on social media platforms. While officiating at the annual members meeting for Rural Broadcasters Association in Kampala on behalf of the First Lady Janet Museveni, State Minister for ICT Godfrey Kabyanga urged Media Council to intensify trainings attributing the misinformation to untrained journalists. And in more news, in anticipation of the celebrations of World AIDS Day celebrated every 1st December, our reporter Ivan Juko gathered a special story about the Kasensero landing site situated in the present-day Chotera district, where the first confirmed cases of HIV were reported, also dubbed the birthplace of HIV in the 1980s. It is believed that victims who are traders operating in the Kabanyaga market in Tanzania along the shores of Lake Victoria contracted the virus, crossed and settled at Kasensero landing site in southern Uganda, then spread it to various parts of the country. After a period of 4 decades or so, we have learned that a lot has been done in the stride to fight the AIDS epidemic, as men don't want to use condoms while women care less whether men use protective gear or not, and they only mind about getting money for survival. And lastly, the Omsinga Charles Wesley Mumbere Irema Ngoma, the cultural leader of Rwenzururu Kingdom, has commended President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for introducing an industrial hub in Kasese, aiming at skilling the youth for a socio-economic transformation. While touring the Rwenzori Zonal Presidential Industrial Hub in Kasese, the Omsinga said that giving hands-on skills to the youth will help them create their own jobs in the community. Well, that does it for the local news stories. Back to you, Chantal.
Thank you so much, Olive. Well, right now we cross over to see what is happening across different parts of the world. And of course, keeping you updated with what is happening in Israel, or the war between Israel and Hamas. 30 Palestinian prisoners have been freed from Israeli jails in 7th exchange of Israel-Hamas truce after more Israeli captives released in Gaza. International mediators, including Qatar, Egypt, and the US, are pushing for another extension of the pause in fighting. Top US diplomat Blinken says Israel plans to resume Gaza offensive, urges greater protection of civilians in the besieged Palestinian enclave. More than 15,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since October 7th, and in Israel, the official death toll stands at about 1,200. And away from that, cell phones will be banned in schools across New Zealand, the Conservative Prime Minister Christopher Luxon said on Friday, as his fledgling government looks to turn around the country's plummeting literacy rates. New Zealand's schools once boasted some of the world's best literacy scores, but levels of reading and writing have declined to the point that some researchers fear there is a classroom crisis. Luxon declared he would ban phones at schools within his first 100 days in office, adopting a policy trailed with mixed results in the United States, United Kingdom, and France. The move would stop disruptive behavior and help students focus, Luxon said. We are going to ban phones across New Zealand in schools. We want our kids to learn and we want our teachers to teach, he said. In other stories, a court in Germany has sentenced a Gambian man to life in prison for his role in a paramilitary unit that killed opponents of former ruler Yahya Jammeh. Bailowe, 47, was a driver for the unit known as the Junglers and was convicted of crimes against humanity, murder, and attempted murder. Among the crimes he was linked to was the killing of newspaper editor Deida Haidara in his car in 2004. The unit was widely seen as a death squad targeting opponents of Mr. Jammeh. He ruled the Gambia with an iron fist from 1996 until he went into exile in 2017 after losing elections. A Truth and Reconciliation Commission set up after he left power heard from hundreds of witnesses about execution squads and other alleged rights violations committed under his 22-year rule. In a joint statement, human rights groups said the case in Germany was a major step in the search for justice for years of abuses committed under Jammeh's rule. Now, speaking matters climate, the Somali authorities say more than 1 million people have now been forced to abandon their homes in the country due to floods caused by the El Nino weather phenomenon. The heaviest rains in more than 2 decades have caused widespread destruction, displacement, and death across the Horn of Africa. It comes as world leaders gather in Dubai to discuss the climate crisis at the COP28 summit. At least 270 people are reported to have died in Somalia, Kenya, and southern Ethiopia as the continental region, which is just coming out of prolonged drought, braces for further torrential rains. In Somalia alone, more than 100 people have died in flash floods. Whole towns have been submerged, forcing nearly their entire population to seek shelter elsewhere. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has said the country is in a critical state. And well, that marks the end of our reports, that is local and international stories. However, we do have what is happening or what is headlining the dailies this morning, and Sonko will be giving us what is in today's papers, both in our country and in the East African region.
Now, the New Vision highlights this morning how Muslim land was sold, tight security as Supreme Council discusses way forward. President Museveni at General Elwelu's church, there is a picture of that. Then report, Uganda's population rises to 46 million. And then also still at the front page of the New Vision today, why girls stopping HIV infection, plus 16 pages of World AIDS Day coverage. More of that is with the New Vision Friday. Then Magical Christmas, win a Christmas holiday. And in the other New Vision series, Basu Day, what almost became my dying moments. Now we move to the Daily Monitor as 70 teens catch HIV every day, according to a new report. Then Cricket Cranes write history as they qualify for World Cup. Then in the Scoop magazine, MC Cats dropping mic after 20 years. Then in the other Muslim properties, over 20 Ugandan Muslim Supreme Council members blocked from meeting as Ugandan Scoops Award for caring for children with autism. In the regional news, Mbale City gets 3.2 billion Ugandan shillings power substation. You can as well read about how monthly stipend is helping a pack elderly. That is with the Daily Monitor. Now, furthermore, the Citizen, that is in Tanzania, highlights speculation as Chongolo resigns from CCM hot seat. Then Faraja, start building, tech grows with you. Also, the African Union moves to recover assets stolen from Africa as funding key to ending AIDS by 2030, says the United Nations. Why trade in chemicals has surged since 2020. Read about that with the Citizen newspaper. Now, lastly, from our dailies this morning, the referendum. Ruto rallies tell of Raila. Ruto allies tell of Raila. This is the headline with the Daily Nation today. In the political space of Kenya, ODM chief demanded the people's input on offices of opposition leaders, prime CS. Now, Hustler Fund turns one with goodies for borrowers. Then also, permanent jobs beckon for 46,000 intern tutors. The Daily Nation as well highlights Makaman orders agency to crack down on illegal PSVs. As lastly, still with the Daily Nation, World AIDS Day, giving PrEP to pregnant women curbs infection by HIV, says new study. Then the nation at COP28 in the eye of a storm. An interesting report in relation to the ongoing COP28 that kicked off yesterday in the United Arab Emirates. So that's it for our press review this morning.
Thank you so much, Jerome Paul. Well, we can't go further than that. Let's get into a very short break. And guess what? The holidays are here. And the next conversation is going to be centered on how we can handle these holiday makers in this long holiday. So please do stick around, share your ideas, share your opinions. We look forward to hearing from you. For now, a very short break.
Of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free. In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy, Wanawoli.
Junko. Yo. Wachiko. Chick the shopping man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
This Pleno, as the name prescribes, is a project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there is also community-based natural resources grants which were given to families to put in place woodlots which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation looking for energy or for firewood.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Junko.
Yo.
Wachiko. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
This plan, as the name prescribes, is a project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there is also community-based natural resources grants which were given to families to put in place woodlots which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation looking for energy or for firewood.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
My name is Chantal Olive Akandinda, and we are glad that you get to be part of the show. It is a Friday, and we get to launch into the weekend. So we say, stick around. We do have performances that will be coming your way to make sure that this Friday you are, first of all, entertained, but also you are informed, and lastly, you are you are ushered into the weekend mood. That is what we do every Friday. But you who gets to watch us every single day, Monday to Friday, you're doing such a wonderful job. Today, once again, is World AIDS Day, but also we are getting further into the Christmas season, but also the kids are home. We have our kids at home. It's going to be a long holiday, longer than the usual of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's going to be a holiday till most schools actually report back in February. So between now and February, it's quite a long period of time, and a lot happens in those holidays. And this morning, we're going to be having a discussion on how best we can safeguard our children who are at home with us. And, you know, we can point out different examples or different scenarios that we have seen, especially on social media. You have seen videos of these kids in places doing things they are not supposed to be doing. Some drinking alcohol, some doing drugs, if you have seen, others smoking, things they are not supposed to be doing. But also, I landed on a video, and I was having this conversation with Olive in the morning, of these girls who are assuring fellow women, if I may say, how they are coming for their men. And the question goes back down to, how does a kid, I'm going to call them kids, how does a kid of high school even start to look forward to something like that in a holiday? What went wrong? Where did the parents go wrong? Where is the problem? And that is the conversation that we would like to have, would like to know. How do we safeguard these kids? One, from themselves, because we do know that in most cases, these kids are going through these body changes, and sometimes it's inevitable to do certain things. So how do we safeguard these kids from themselves, from the world out there that is going to be cruel towards them, from we ourselves as parents who sometimes are the reason as to why our kids end up the way they do? The holistic conversation is about that. On set, I do have Jerome Paul Sonko and Olive Monica Najuma, and that is how we are going to be conversing this very morning as we are preparing for performances that will be coming shortly after the conversation. For now, I'd like to know what Sonko thinks, or I think let's start from, where is the problem? Why did we go wrong? Why do we even feel like there is need to safeguard our kids during holidays?
Well, where we went wrong, I think as a society, this is something that is to blame for, is a blame that we're supposed to carry as a country or as an entire community. If you're to say, if I come from, let's say, Boyo Gerere, it is something to worry about, or a blame going towards all the residents in Boyo Gerere. But also, not forgetting the fact that there is an element of laxity by parents in relation to paying attention to the changes and the details of behavior when their children get back for holidays. And well, you can't blame them as much though, because with the kind of world that we are moving in today, everyone wakes up in the morning to try and go and hunt for a living for the family, because at any one moment, once the children are back home, there is a lot you need to offer to them, because there are quite many. The bills tend to also increase. You know, the cost of living also increases, more so when you have the children back home. So it is all about making sure you get the money to make sure that you take care of them. So where we went wrong first is the fact that even in our communities lately, there is no community parenting.
Like
something of something of that sort, because today's parents, which I would actually also stand with to a given percentage, do not want other people to help them raise their children in the way they think is right. Because back then, during the early days of our upbringing, what I remember most is that the community was a parent to you as well. So if your neighbor, or if someone who lives in the same hood as you are, if they noticed something you're doing in the absence of your parents, or if they found you in a bar, let's say, or let's say in an enjoyment place late in the night, they would punish you themselves and then take you back to your parents. Or there were actually some situations whereby some children were actually taken to the local council where their parents would pick them from there after being punished for engaging in quite a number of antisocial behaviors here. So when you look at that also, with this current generation, no parent, let's say the majority of the parents do not want the community to help them in upbringing their children. If a parent finds you, let's say, trying to punish or trying to caution their child or their children, they would actually tell you, please don't. That is my child. Or in a situation, they will actually tell you, do you know how hurting it is, you know, when raising a child? Or do you know how painful it is, rather, while, you know, grooming a child, omwana aluma, things like that. So tonkwatira kumwana. Those are things that we've seen. Then there is also the issue to do with the idea of social media, the growth of social media, and this has highly been pushed by the fact that now we do have very many students or children who have access to smartphones. It wasn't the case, because if I'm to remember, the very first time I got to own a smartphone of my own, I think that was in my A level. And that is in my Form 5. That is when I got to own my own smartphone. But as of today, because of the changes really of the generation and the education system, you do realize that right from kindergarten, these young children already have access to phones. They know how to use them, which is also an advantage because of the fact that the generation has changed. But now there is also a problem to this advantage, because as much as the children use these phones to communicate with their colleagues or their fellows, as well as in the education matters, you do realize that there is also content they consume off these social media platforms. Now, like the video you've actually mentioned, that is that you said about school-going children making a video threatening the married. Exactly. So threatening the married women, yet they are also going to join them in years not longer than 10. So you realize that it is because of certain content they've been able to consume on these social media platforms. And at times, by the way, it's quite unfortunate, I should say. At times, these particular young girls make these videos not meaning what they're saying. At times, it's all about content creation. But again, I don't want to rule out the fact that most of them are already do these things.
They're actually sexually active, really
exactly.
active, yes.
So they sound it as a warning, but deep in mind when they're actually meaning what they're saying. And then also not only social media, but the kind of movies that, or the kind of videos that the young children watch as of today. Because when you look at some of, I've seen a tweet somewhere where someone was actually saying, why doesn't Netflix release straight people in such a situation? And this kind of person was saying, when you look at some of the content or the movies being produced lately, there is an element of either homosexuality in there, or there is an element of a sexual scene in every movie.
Right.
So it becomes very difficult for a parent to
for even a
everything.
Family to sit and watch together.
And watch together. So as a parent, you would actually say, this movie is good for my children. Little do you know that in there are scenes that may not be good for your children. So in the long run, you realize, and this is not only about sexual scenes, but also you look at the fact that with the rise of you know, drug abuse and alcohol abuse, you realize that some of these particular children get to see most of these from the videos they consume and also the friends they chill with, and at times we fail out because we are not monitoring. Even with television stations, by the way, there are movies where they would say parental guidance is advised. But I doubt if we have a lot of time to even advise the children while watching such movies.
Well, like you said, I think the other element would be the part of time where parents may not be readily available all the time And it brings us to the question of whether kids should only be watching movies when their parents are around. But over to you, Olive. Why did we go wrong? Why do we even have to wake up in the morning and we have to think about safeguarding our children during such holidays? It's supposed to be merry-making time. It's supposed to be family time, ideally. But now we are having the discussion of how do we protect our children during such holidays? Why did we go wrong?
I don't think it's a case of where we went wrong. It's a case, okay, maybe to a degree where we went wrong somewhere. But also times have changed, things have evolved. And the one thing we need to remember is that as a parent, until they leave your home maybe and start a family of their own, you never take your hands off.
Right.
You are still a parent. Actually, you know people who are married, but they're still being parented by their parents, because there is this saying in my language that omwana takula wawe. Like you can never grow before your parents, you will still be a child.
Yes.
Now today the challenge we have is that times are hard. In as much as we want to blame the parents for not creating the time, times are hard. We are living in a gig economy where a parent has a job, but then there is a side hustle to make ends meet.
True.
So a parent may leave work maybe at 5 p.m., but then they have a shop. They need to go and supervise, oversee things, maybe do their books in the evening. By the time this parent gets home, the children are sleeping. So we are, cost of living is high, times have changed, parents are working so hard to put food on the table. Also, we need to remember that one of the contributing factors that we do not want to accept is the evolution of single parent homes. If there is one parent in the home, which parent is also the one who goes out to work? Unfortunately, these children are now going to be left in the hands of a stranger, the maid, to raise them. Now, in some cases, you'll find that one home has had, let's say, 5-6 maids in one single year. All of these girls come from different backgrounds. They are passing on different information, different behaviors, and our children, it's like a blank slate. Anything you write on it is going to stay. That's why you're going to find later on when they grow, boys telling you, my first sexual exposure was with the maid at home. And you wonder, where was the mom? The mom was outside working. Whereas back in the day, one parent would go and work, one parent would stay at home and make sure that the children are nurtured and taken care of, and right information is passed on. But now everyone is passing on something. Also, you mentioned something about gadgets, and I would like to add on that.
Yes.
Today we have gadgets parenting our children. You go home, you're tired, the child comes to talk to you, like, take my phone, because you want to rest, but then you forget you were watching pornography on your phone.
Or you saved content that was not supposed to be
Exactly,
viewed by
because
the child.
also research shows that some children have been exposed to pornography through their parents' phones.
And they think it is right, since it is my mother or father having this particular
Exactly. So we have the changing times, economic times, but the evolution of single parent homes. A child was made to be raised by two people. And I don't know why to this day, even with men, because today the caliber of men we have, majority of them are educated men, right? But when the relationship ends, they walk away. They stay out of the lives of their children. That video of the girls we saw telling women that we are coming for your husbands, I find it hard to believe that there is an authoritative male figure in the lives of those girls.
Very true.
There are things a girl that has a father she respects will never do.
Very true.
You get?
Very true.
Because as a mom, I will guide and nurture a child to a certain degree. But the father has to come in.
The fatherly figure needs to be in there.
Exactly. And also the girls that are being raised, or the boys, let me talk about the girls first. A girl child that is being raised by a man alone, when she grows up, there is something in her that is going to be missing. She will not be as feminine,
as soft, I should
soft.
say.
Yes.
She's supposed
There
to,
is a particular celebrity, I won't name names, that was raised by her father. And when you see her demeanor and the way she carries herself and the way she talks to people, she's like a man. Very beautiful, looks really nice, but her attitude is not feminine at all. Because a man cannot teach a girl child
how to act like a girl,
how
or
to
as
act
woman,
like a
too.
lady. Just like me, I cannot teach my son
To act like
to
a man.
act like a man. That's why we need two parents. And because of all these things missing in the equation, that's why we have what we have today.
Right. Thank you, Olive. Thank you, Sonko, for the deliberation. And it makes, it sheds more light on why would someone wake up in the morning and they feel like their child needs to be protected. Well, be part of the conversation, and we are saying, what measures can parents take to ensure the safety of their children throughout the extended holiday period? Do note that we're going all the way till February. So that means between now and then, a lot can happen to these kids, and that is why we're talking about their safety or how you can safeguard them. So please do be part of the conversation on the X app, formerly known as Twitter, but also you can send us a message on WhatsApp, and that is on 0709 602592, and we get to have the conversation. The number is on your screen, and the poll question as well is displayed on your screen. You get to have the conversation with us. I do have some comments that are already coming in. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. I'll be reading them a little later, you know, trying to pick your mind as well, because we look forward to hearing from you and what you usually have to say about the conversations that we have. So now that we have figured where seemingly the challenge could be, now we go back to the golden question. How do we safeguard these kids of ours? I think I'll start with you, Olive. How do you intend, literally, how do you intend to do this in this long period that we are headed for? Merry-making, family time, but anything can happen in there, so please.
I like that question, how I intend, because I am already a parent, and one of my kids is a teenager,
right,
and a boy at that. And of course, girl children have their own challenges, but boys also have their own. I think the best way parents can safeguard their children is, one, to be consistent. What do I mean? When you are parenting, when you say this is green, ensure that it remains green. If you say, in this home, we wake up at this time, let's wake up at that time. If you say, no child of mine is going to loiter on the village, ensure, like, put mechanisms in place. There should be punishments and whatnot spelled out, that when you loiter, this is what is going to happen to you. Many parents today are friends to their children. They are friends first. Please note, I always encourage parents to be friends with their children.
Yes.
Have a relationship. But please, please, you are a parent first. Even Michelle Obama said, I told my daughters, I am not your best friend. Your best friend will support you to make bad decisions. I am your mother. I'm supposed to nurture you to be a better person. Then I can be your friend later. So be parents first. Be consistent. If you say, if you do this, I'm going to ground you. Please, when they do it, ground them. Let them know that when my mom says something, when my dad says something, they mean it. The problem is that today, most parents are, I don't want to be so hard. I don't want their feelings to be hurt. No one has ever died because their feelings were hurt. No one. I normally tell
if it's for a good cause.
I normally tell my children, are you bleeding? No. If you're not bleeding, then no one is dying. So do what you're supposed to do at the right time. Be consistent as a parent. Then two, keep the children busy. We as parents today, I don't know, we were not raised like that. You have children, they are teenagers, they can't even do any chore in the house because you have maids. You cannot raise your children like that. Have a roster. Even the 6-5-year-old, let them have a chore. They do every day. You're creating responsibility. You're creating people that care, because at the end of the day, you're raising them and nurturing them for the work world, for the work environment. Now, in the work environment, if these children are lazy, they are not used to being responsible, they are poor timekeepers, these are the people that are going to be fired. You get?
Yes.
Because they say, thank you,
Mm.
charity begins at home. If you do not train your child in the way they should go, even the Bible says it, you're setting them up for failure. So keep them busy. If you have a shop, why is your son at home watching movies, yet they can be in your shop working? Okay? I know a lady whose son in holidays would go to construction sites and do some work. Like, find something. The other day our boss was telling my son to wash cars in the estate, make some money. And you see, we have a poor attitude as Africans. We minimize jobs. You're like, me, Olive Shah, I work on TV. How can my child be washing cars? But when you go abroad, these are the same jobs teenagers are doing. And they're earning a living. So let's keep our children busy, all of them. And then let's also manage screen time. Why is your child watching TV from 7 to midnight? 7, no, midnight. What are you doing? What are they watching? And on these gadgets, is there parental control, or they're watching everything? So we need to look at these things, and this is, for me, in my opinion, this is how we can safeguard and ensure that our children are not hoodwinked into, you know, bad elements or negative elements during the holidays.
Thank you so much, Olive. If I have picked a thing or two as an upcoming parent. But do note that you can be a parent even if you've not given back.
Yes.
You have siblings that you're parenting. You have people that you are a guardian to. So it's actually upon every single person to safeguard these children. At the end of the day,
though there's a worrying report that I read, I think a week ago, whereby there are cases of sexual harassment taking place, especially in homes, but it's more like you take your child for holidays at your relatives or at a family friend. And some of the cases coming in is that some of these young girls, especially the young girls, are being sexually molested by these men in these homes. Either, let's say, a son-in-law to your family, or uncle, cousin.
Yes.
And it is very common lately. That is why some of the parents who used to take their children for holidays, let's say to a family friend or to a relative, most of them are no longer buying the idea because of that that concern. Of course, you can as well do it, because you do realize that unless you take your child to someone else's place, at times they may not get exposed to, let's say, how different things happen.
Well,
so, you know, for example, you can take them to your senga, or if it's a girl child, or to your uncle's side. But however, that is a very worrying issue.
Why are you taking your child to their senga? Back in the day, we would be taken to our sengas,
or to your grandparents,
or to be molded in certain ways.
That is why I'm saying.
But today, we have been exposed and educated enough, because, for instance, in Buganda, girl children would be taken to their sengas for the sengas to have the sex education with them. Today, you don't need the senga to do that. Talk to your child, because we have established on this program that sex education is not necessarily telling girls what to do when it comes to sexual matters.
Making them aware on how to prevent.
Exactly. Teach them their rights, teach them about their bodies and their body changes. This is what we are supposed to teach our children. So we should not even delegate. Why are you delegating this duty to someone else? Is there someone in this world that will ever care for your children more than you?
No, you know,
nobody should.
Nobody should, or I should say, no one is going to do it for you. But at times it also gives them an element of exposure of how the world moves away from home, which is something also some parents forget, because at times you want your child to understand that if at all, God forbid, I'm not present, how are you going to, you know, deal with the people that are related to us.
Right.
So that is also important. It may not be a long holiday.
Must
but
they
maybe,
stay there to be exposed? Can't you visit and come back?
all the time, maybe. I do understand where you're coming from, and you're actually right.
No, because
a lot of things do happen.
I've had
really.
so many stories in my adulthood from people who were taken to other people's homes,
Yes.
and they're still traumatized.
Because of the same.
Exactly. So
Either
maybe
they go the other side, act like the maids, and they're, overly tortured. I do understand.
Right, we are still continuing with the conversation, and you can be part of it on the X app, but also you can send us a message on WhatsApp. We do have some comments already. This is retired Captain Chitaka Mayanja from Chiwoga, and he says parents in Uganda think that giving much freedom to their children is to show them love, but you are spoiling his or her future and the nation's. Let even government put their measures to control these young ones for better Uganda. That is his opinion when it comes to how we can safeguard these holiday makers. And someone says, this is Eddie, says he agrees with Olive's conversation and says thank you for the guidance. And then, hey, good morning. I'm from Barara, live watching like me. Live watching, like to me what's supposed to be done is just to have home-based sex education to create more awareness about dangers of sex before age or marriage. Then someone says, hey, UBC viewers, this is Deuce Kato from Barara. These children, you see, went ahead and started planning for the family in the presence of their parents because they take their parents or guardians that they are of ancient time, and things change so they no longer buy the parents' ideas. Now, this is the part where I have an issue. Why would a child reach to a point where they feel like they have the audacity to even put you in a place where you are ancient and your ideas do not matter? That means they lost respect for you as a parent.
Right.
So
from
why,
there
why did they lose that respect? What did
because
you
I also
do?
want the
It
viewers
goes
to
back
understand
to
that
complacence.
when we
Yes.
also talk about safety, by the way, for the viewers, there's also the issue to do with misuse of drugs. This is also something we really need to safeguard children from. Drug abuse, even alcohol abuse as well. Because while they're at school, they always have these parties they talk about that they always plan for during the holidays. And I think most of the parents are also aware that some of these weekends, especially in December, you would be seeing your children going away for a party somewhere. And at times they will return late.
And my Sonko, sorry to cut you short. When you say you will see them going for a party, and at times, no, I'm not doubting you, by the way. I just want a clarification here. There is a gist somewhere. They go for a party. They come back late. Remember what I said? Consistency. If you tell your child you're allowed to go to Acacia Mall to watch a movie with your friends, be home by 5. What do you do
when they're
Thank you so much.
So that is where the punishment.
How dare you?
Come
How dare you come back home after me? You remember how our parents used to say?
So me, I give you out of this home.
You know, as in
that is a typical African line.
Let me tell you, we need to go back to being our parents. There are things we need to change, like how our parents used to.
We cut off the toxicity,
yes,
but try to create that parentage distance as well.
Exactly. Our parents could have been a bit toxic of you're supposed to be seen and not heard. That's wrong. That's not the kind of parenting I would advocate for today. But they were strict and consistent in some ways. Like, I would never go home after my mom or even my big sister. How? But today we have children that will come home at 9. They didn't call.
They didn't even
text.
communicate in any way that they were running late. Maybe there is jump. You could encounter a challenge, but does that kid know just that they have to communicate?
And they are the same people that will come to work and they are late, and they don't bother to call their boss and say, I'm late because there is a car that broke down in the middle of the road, or I can't make it work because I'm sick. They expect you to figure it out.
Great. Well, like we have figured, it all stems from the rules, if I may say, that we use to run our homes at the end of the day. Very many of us, even stepping at the gate in our childhood was a problem. let my dad hear that you stepped at the gate. How? What are you looking for? but I understood later what all those things meant, and the unfortunate bit is now parents, I think, are finding it hard to maintain the consistency because these kids are very inquisitive. They are very pushy, by the way. These kids are very pushy. You'll find that you'll beat this kid today, beat them tomorrow, beat them the other day, sit and have conversations with them, invite an uncle to talk to them, invite an elder sister or brother to talk to them, and these kids are not listening. And
though the beauty I love about our childhood is that however much you may look at it as a harsh kind of way, at times when you grow up and you associate with certain people, you want to go back home and thank your parents for raising
for the job well done.
You know, for raising you the way they did. Because at times you associate with human beings and you're like, oh,
where did they grow up from?
So,
who raised you?
Who raised this? It's like you're asking yourself deeply in the inside and you're like, no.
You indirectly say, God bless my mother. God bless my father.
No, they say you first, you remember our parents would be like, they're like, you will see one day.
You will give back.
So once you get into the space, you realize she was right.
Exactly.
Or he was right.
There are sometimes when my children want to lie to me about something, because by the way, homes need to have core values of in this home we don't lie,
right?
In this home we don't steal, and there has to be harsh punishments. I'm not saying kill someone, but there has to be repercussions for breaking those core values.
Whereby someone knows this is something I'm not supposed to do or
exceed. So for me, sometimes you'll see, of course, someone trying to, beat around the bush, trying to be smart, and you're like, you forget.
I've seen this movie before.
My mom used to say, you forget I was young once.
She has already passed through.
I have seen this movie before. Well, Oliver and Sonko, we do have people online that are part of this conversation, and well, let's see what they have to say. I have lots of comments flooding in. Good morning, Team UBC. Thanks for the presentation on an issue that has created the generation of today different from the previous generation. The biggest challenge that carries all the factors is parents losing the capacity of community responsibility of parents to care the children. I think he's talking about community parenting. Yeah, let's go with that. Let in 80s and 90s, community parenting was a good factor that helped have children have good morals of growth. You can't take care of your children alone. We have to join hands as a team to control the bad behavior in children. This is Bahitia Rogers from Ivanda, Chinatown Council.
Some people in society also overpunish.
Well, now that's when we have the conversation. But
however much we are upholding the idea that community parenting should be highly advised. But at times, like you mentioned, not everybody may treat your child the same way. Someone may give your child a harsh punishment and you're like,
okay, community parenting does not necessarily mean punishing or beating. But if I find a 13-year-old girl standing with a boy that she has no business standing with, back in the day, someone would be like, Chantal, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
Who is that? Why are you standing here? Why aren't you home? But today you can't, because she will be like, are you my mother? Why?
They actually, yes, they can respond. So Bahitia goes ahead and explains. Says to explain this, when you as a parent are at work, other parents can look at what the children are doing, not when they punish your children of bad behavior. You can create enmity. If this is done, we are good as parents. Well, he still advocates for community parenting, and maybe we just need to get to a point where we draw the line. Yeah,
don't beat my
child. Don't be harsh. But when they've done something, at least let me know. Let's groom this child together, something like that.
Because some other people may have issues with the parents and decide to put the
Thank you.
But you see, even in our neighborhoods, we stay in apartments, we stay in estates, and you don't even know your next door neighbor. But if you're a parent, I think you should take it upon yourself to at least know a neighbor or two, so that those neighbors can help you hold your children accountable where you're not.
Right. And we still have more comments. Good morning, UBC, Olive, Chantal, and Sonko. The role of parents can be safeguard and promote the child's health, education, development, and welfare. Provide care, direction, guidance, and control in a manner appropriate to the child's age and understanding. To determine all aspects of upbringing, provide a home either directly or indirectly. Maintain relations or regular contact if you're not living with a child. Act as the child's legal representative, safeguard and deal with any property. Thank you. This is Tugume Musa, streaming live in Rugonjo, Kamwenge district. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Then Saddam says, limit one on situation and talk openly with your child about their online activity, and also you need to know their online friends. Thank you, Saddam, for the suggestion. Good morning. Thanks for the show. I am Mahad from Ginger. Parents need to make kids speak freely with kids so as to open up free conversations and stop fighting everyone who points out weakness of your kid without assessing your kid's mistakes. Don't keep a deaf ear of your child's mistakes. They are learning to drive to their future, and you as a parent, you are the instructor sitting in the next seat. Very well put.
Yeah.
This is Alfred Karamaji, and says he's a teacher. Very well. Let parents continue to talk to their children daily and have open discussions so as to get well-guided guidance, not mere talks. Thank you very much. If this is coming from a teacher, it means it is very well put. They have seen something that, that's the gap they have seen. Hi, I am Majidu from Barara. All children have unanswered questions. If parents are not there to answer those questions for them rightly, then the world will answer for them in a misleading direction. Parents have time to attend to your children's questions, so parents should have time to answer the children's questions. The children have questions, the inquisitive part, so the parents have to be available to make sure that they answer these questions, because like I said, the world will answer them and sometimes they don't give the correct answers.
They say that if you do not raise your children well, the world will raise them for you, and you cannot blame the world for how they turn out.
Right, and a few more comments. Good morning, gentlemen and ladies in the house from Ostino. Please, I think the best way is for parents to abide by what the Bible says. Train up a child with the fear of God so that when they grow up, they wouldn't depart from it. Autonomous Man says he's watching live from Arua City. Many thanks for the discussion. I'm proud of UBC. Let's continue with the guidance. And so many more comments that are coming in. George says is a student, and sometimes they call the uncles to talk to them. Well, thank you so much for being part of today's conversation. The holiday is upon us, so dear parents, be ready to have open conversations with your children. Take very good care of them, and don't be too friendly. You can have a relationship, but don't be too friendly with your children. At the end of the day, you are the parent. Well, we have been having a conversation with Jerome Paul Sonko and Olive Monica Najuma. Well, we are calling it a wrap for this conversation, and coming up is a performance that I'm really waiting for. I was trying to get the names, the long drum, then there is a word he mentioned, the Ngalabi, yes, at least I knew Ngalabi, long drum. Then there is another word he mentioned, I think he's going to just help me say it, and that is Shakul. In a minute, he's going to be here, pardon? No, it wasn't percussion. The word wasn't percussion, but he's going to be here. Shakul is going to be here in a minute, and I'm going to make sure he pronounces that word. For now, please do stick around. We're ushering you into the weekend.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way. with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Junko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret? Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM? Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk. No, Sewatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving. Junko, I thought I was one of your friends. You are, but you left me behind. I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do? Just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief, and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government, designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Welcome on board once again to UBC's Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. Now, I don't know that at least for everyone who has been through school, you would understand the word experiments during the lab times when you would go for a science experiment, for the ICT lesson experiment. Now, this morning, we do have an experimental artist. I would wish to understand what that represents, though. Maganda Shakur is in studio with us this morning to usher us into the weekend. Maganda, good morning, and thank you for joining us this Friday.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is Maganda Shakur, an experimental artist from Uganda, and basically doing music. I do like music production.
Okay.
I also do like composition, but mostly like the composition as I do. They are mostly in experimenting like our indigenous instruments, you know, fusing them with the modern music, like with electronic music, to see how we can bring this, you know, to this future, you know. So this is what like basically like I do, you know, like fusing these indigenous instruments, the sounds, the ancient sounds.
So that's what they call experimental.
Yeah, experimenting, you know, experimenting different stuffs, you know, and then bring them to life.
Okay,
sure.
So our viewers would, before I leave you to do your thing this morning, our viewers would wish to know, do you have your own composed songs, or you simply do these experiments about sounds and the like?
Yeah, basically I have my own composed songs. I'll be playing some of them here. So basically they are more based of the indigenous instruments, and basically like the rhythms. When you look at these rhythms, these are the rhythms played, you know, like with these instruments. We have the adongo, we have the ngalavi. Today I came with my ngalavi. I'll be showing you, you know, like some of the techniques, how to play it, and I'll be also, you know, like performing with it. So most of this music I make, you know, just comes out of, you know, like of the mind, you know, like with these instruments I play. I'm like, if I have a ngalavi, what can I make, you know, what can I compose out of the ngalavi, what can I experiment what sounds does it have, you know, like which sounds do they produce? If I get this sound, how can I use them, you know, like to reproduce or produce like the modern music, you know, but still in the indigenous way. So basically, yeah, this is what I do.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to all our dear viewers, wherever you are, it is time for us to enjoy some experimental music this Friday. And to do this, the one and only Maganda Shakul is with us. It is Friday, and we are UBC.
Thank you. Yeah, so basically I'll be giving you some tracks. So these are the tracks from my new released EP with the East African Records. It's called Tutabale, and most of you you know Gambo Tutabale, what it means, you know. Bajaja bafe batabala, so some long time ago, you know. So basically this EP it was released like this year. I just released this with the East African Records. I have like 7 tracks on this. I have tracks, you know, reflecting the western side, and also have tracks, you know, like reflecting the central Uganda. For sure, let's start this.
Yo, Maganda Shakul, straight out analytica culture sembo. Yo, Kabuka, Tutabale.
Basically, this is called Tutabale, like the first track on the EP, you know. So I never, you know, gave you the vocals because I was here drumming, you know. It's something different here, but that's the Tutabale track from Tutabale EP, you know. So I would like to introduce here another track, but basically this one I'll be, you know, singing this. It's all about Kampala, Uganda, you know, like some parts in Kampala, you know. I think most of you know Kampala, Uganda. We have, you know, like these parts. We have the Katwe, we have the Bonga. So basically here I was singing about these parts, you know, like from Kampala, Uganda. Yeah. So Kampala, Uganda. Mwasuze mutyeyo.
Maganda Shakul.
Sabula. Ooh.
This is where I come from.
Kampala, Kampala. Hey. Uganda, Kampala.
Chisenyi, Kabalagala, Bansanga, Kamuongo, Yenga, Munga, Uzega, Lukuli, Gaba, Munyo, Salama Road, Luafu, Machinge, Nabisalu, Katwe. Uganda, Kampala.
Yeah, Kampala, Uganda, anti tuli Kampala, Uganda, emirimu gye tugikolera, buli kimu gye tukikolera. So basically, those are some of the 2 tracks, from the EP, Kampala, Uganda, Netutabale. Yeah, from the start, I told you, most of you, know the word Tutabale, what it means, This is a Ugandan word, which means, like exploring more, like going too deep of yourself, when you realize things by yourself, this is basically was done more, like by our ancestors going into nature, and they did this to Tavale. So I was reflecting, this kind of movements. But yeah, another track was Kampala, Uganda, reflecting, like the parts of Uganda, like and Kampala, in Kampala. So basically, those are the 2 tracks, from the EP to Tavale, released by the East African Records. I think most of you know about the East African Records, and also Nilotika Culture Sembo. This is the family where I come from. This is a community, like a base organization, based on 2 like indigenous drumming and compositions. Yeah, so basically I'll be highlighting you more about the works, like done at the Culture Center, the Nilotika, where I come from, and also, highlighting you more of the new music we have and the more of the new stuffs we have. Thank you.
Of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Junko. Yo.
What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sewatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Friday special continues, and I'm here with your weekend recommendations for the movies that you can watch. And I hope that as you are planning to get entertained this weekend, it's December, and personally I have a certain excitement for December. Not about Christmas, but for some reason December is a month that good things happen. So let's see how this weekend goes, but I hope that you are ready to, one, relax, and also entertain yourself. You've worked so hard this whole year, meanwhile, not just this week, this whole year. So whenever you get a moment, please catch some rest. And what a way to catch some rest, by maybe watching some movies, reading a book, and any other activity that you'd like. So for now, Freelance is a 2023 American action comedy film directed by Pierre Morel and written by Jacob Lentz in his feature writing debut. It stars John Cena, Alison Brie, Juan Pablo Raba, and Christian Slater. That is the movie right there, as you can see. And what is the plot? Mason Pettit is a former U.S. Army Special Forces who was injured and medically discharged after a failed mission to assassinate a Paldonian dictator, Juan Venegas. In the present day, Pettit is working as a lawyer, a job he despises. One day, Mason is approached by a former Army Special Forces team member, Sebastian, who offers him a highly paid personal security job where he has to protect disgraced journalist Claire Wellington as she goes to Paldonia to interview Venegas. The mission upsets his wife, Jenny, who doesn't want their daughter, Cassie, to live without a father. Take a look at the trailer.
Do you know that feeling when you're doing exactly what you were put on the earth to do? The one where it's like everything inside you is moving together in harmony with the universe. Me neither. But, you know, one can hope, right? Wave to Mommy, because she'll hate me even more than she already does if you don't.
I seem to recall you saying that becoming a lawyer would only crush your soul.
Yeah, it has.
I'm running a business, and right now that business is getting a journalist in and out of Paldonia.
No.
It's a one-off.
No, no, and no. Who's a journalist?
I have resigned my position here.
Not interested.
20 grand says you are.
Welcome to Paldonia. President Venegas, so nice to meet you.
We must take a selfie. You approve?
It's great.
There are so many wonderful things about my country.
Stay here.
What the hell just happened?
Your one-man security detail happened. He's a hero.
I'm with the president of a country in the middle of a coup. This is the scoop of a lifetime.
You gotta be alive to have the scoop for a lifetime. We never should have come. Let's go.
You can't just leave him.
Run! Run! Still excited to cover a coup?
Less and less, honestly.
Where is Venegas?
Here's Venegas! Go for Paldonia! Hey! Not the time for coaching! Fuck, man!
Oh, my God.
Oh, color me impressed, Mr. Pettit. Not petite at all.
Tell me you got that! Run!
Freelance is the movie. Well, if you're looking to catch up on some action, but also with a sprinkle of comedy, it is the movie that you can watch right there. Freelance, once again now. Also, we are recommending In the Land of Saints and Sinners. Hopefully this title gives you what to expect in this movie. This is a 2023 Irish action thriller film directed by Robert Lawrence and written by Mark Michael McNally and Terry Lowan. The film stars Liam Neeson in the lead role alongside other Irish actors including Kerry Condon, Jack Gleeson and Ciarán Hinds. This is Neeson's second collaboration with Lawrence after the 2021 film Marksman. Take a look at the trailer.
Try and do some good before you find yourself here.
My girl, don't lie.
Finbar Murphy.
I'll have something else for you in a week or so.
I've been thinking. Been a lifetime of poor choices I've made.
In the pines, in the pines.
How many people have you killed altogether?
There's more to me than this. I'd like folks to see it.
Trying to find a friend.
What's the name?
Finbar Murphy has done something unforgivable. You can give him a message. We'll tear right through this godforsaken place. No one will be safe.
The explosion left 6 dead.
Finbar, what is it that you did? I lost track long ago.
A saint's gotta be a sinner first, don't he?
I won't have you hurting anyone else in this town.
We're not leaving. People will come. People a lot worse than me.
She left me no choice.
Finbar Murphy's going to war. I'm not missing out on all the fun.
In the Land of Saints and Sinners, starring Liam Neeson. Well, if you love to catch up on the movies that he does, that is the movie right there. Now, the next recommendation is Mazo. Mazo is a 2023 American action film directed by John Stolberg Jr. and written by Karel Eubank. It stars Aaron Eckhart, Penelope Mitchell, Diego Tinoco, Paul Jonasson, Kylie Smithson, Delisa Reynolds, and Stephen Lang. After his dog is killed in Skid Row, Jake Rosa plummets deep into a sinister underworld to uncover the truth about who may be responsible. That is the plot, so take a look at the trailer.
This is how this is going to work. You're going to get a new partner, and then you're going to get back out there.
What's up with him?
Her.
Jake. She's been known to snap.
I know the feeling. Let's get that off you. Yeah, she's the one.
Jake, what do you want?
Lacey was drugged. I need to know what that's about.
Hey, get on the ground!
You're playing a game and you don't have a team.
Good girl. You gonna get back out there?
So I said click, clack, bow.
You sent in the human torpedo here. The guy with all the issues.
Fire me. I could care less.
What, you shot one guy and you stabbed another. What the hell are you going to think of next?
Well, I'm sure I'll think of something. How did you manage this? They killed my dog.
Mazo is the movie right there that you will be watching just in case you decide to watch the movie. Well, today also we are recommending a book that you can sit down and read in case you're not a movie lover, but you like to catch up on some reading and you're a lover of literature like Olive is. So, A Living Remedy is a memoir by Nicole Chung. Nicole Chung is a chronicler of loss. In her debut memoir, All You Can Ever Know, she wrote about has become known as disenfranchised grief, sorrow that is not publicly acknowledged or socially supported, as she explored the circumstances of her adoption. Now in her second memoir, A Living Remedy, Chung's anguish is focused on the glaringly visible, the broken U.S. healthcare system, the brutality of capitalism, the heart of everyday racism, and the devastating shock of losing her adoptive parents, and the family narrative that for so long was all she knew. Surrendered as the severely premature baby to her Korean immigrant birth parents, Chung was adopted by a religious white couple in rural Oregon, who told her that it was God's plan that she join their family. Chung struggled to square this tidy legend with the reality of growing up in a place where her ethnicity immediately marked her as other. The judge who finalized her 1981 adoption told Chung's parents to ignore the issue as they raised her. Assimilate her into your family, he told them, and everything will be fine. Now, the book is right there. In case you're someone that loves a sad but interesting story, someone that gets really into the emotions when they're reading a book or listening to music, this is a book that I would recommend you to watch this, to read this very weekend. Well, that is it for the movie recommendations and also the book recommendation. In case you want to catch up on any of those, please do go ahead and make yourself comfortable. You've had a year of working hard, not a month or a week of working hard. So please, whenever you can, do take some time off, read something, watch something. It is for your own good. My name is Chantal, and I have been giving you the recommendations from the entertainment side of Good Morning Uganda Friday Special.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
This Pleno, as the name prescribes, is a project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
One thing I know for sure is that you've not made a mistake to be part of Good Morning Uganda. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, and I welcome you again on Good Morning Uganda in a special way, because what you do is stuff for the MVPs, most valuable players, because you watch the most important show that you're going to find to start your mornings. And we do this from Monday to Friday. This is Friday, and on Friday we tone down, we have discussions that are important to us, but maybe away from the, let's say, political and very serious conversations. We still have serious conversations, but toned down. And today we are going to have a conversation with a designer. But when I say designer, not your usual designer. I'm having a conversation regarding organic products, like making clothes but using organic products, and this is all geared towards the safety of our environment. Did you know that every time you buy that t-shirt, you're contributing somehow to the environmental degradation? But she will explain more. I had a conversation with her and it was quite insightful, and I was like, wow, we need to have our viewers part of this. We need to have our viewers learning from her, and probably we can join hands and ensure that yes, we have all these clothes, but we are lessening the effects they may have, their production may have on our environment. And of course, without much ado, we have Jose Hendo, who is a British award-winning eco-sustainable designer. Keyword: eco-sustainable designer. What does she do? Why did she choose eco-sustainable production of clothes? She will explain to us in a moment. Thank you for joining me on Good Morning Uganda.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I am glad to have you. You look very beautiful, like I mentioned earlier.
Thank you.
Yes. So, first of all, let's go from the beginning. You are a British award-winning eco-sustainable designer. What does that mean, eco-sustainable?
Sustainability is now a really important thing, and I think in terms of thinking about our impact on the environment, it's something that we all have to think about. In terms of anyone who produces anything, you have to think right from the onset about your footprint in this, on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now going back to what you do, first of all, before we get deeper into the conversation, I'd like to know more about your organization, Back to My Roots.
But Back to the Roots started in 2014, and then I was bringing my work back to Uganda for the first time, because everyone who saw my work in bark cloth wanted to know, does Uganda know what you do with it? And I said, well, no. And I decided to journey my way back here to bring what I have been doing with this cloth for so many years and share my work with Uganda. And that was Kampala Fashion Week. It was an amazing experience for me, sharing my work with people here, but most importantly my father, who's not here with us now. And the most important part of it was that people didn't realize it was bark cloth. And so trying to get people excited about this cloth is part of my story as well. And in that moment, I realized I couldn't just come visit and go back without making inroads into trying to do something about preserving this. So I decided then that I was going to start a Back to the Roots initiative, which started in 2014. That's B2TR. We go back to the community, the Botfa community, and we work with them, and we encourage them to keep doing this, but most importantly, plant more trees and train young men to make the bark, because it's only men who make it. And we're losing so many of those men who were doing it for so many years. So it was important that we start getting people excited about keeping this. So B2TR is about preserving our heritage and the environment.
Okay, preserving our heritage and then the environment.
Yes.
Now today, most people, when we buy clothes, I love fashion, but rarely do you find someone that is interested in how the clothes that I put on are made. No one cares about the process. We care about the end, which is the outfit. Do I love this shirt? Do I love this pair of jeans? I'm going to buy them. So what inspired you to go away from the perception of the end user who doesn't really care about how clothes are made, to where you are, where you've decided to use organic materials to make clothes?
Okay. When I did my research in the year 2000, I realized what happens to the garments we wear, where they end up. The fact that the garments end up in landfill. So there is no way, when you throw things away, they go somewhere. So when you think about that, you try to go backwards and think, what can I do to stop that, waste? So the idea was then, how can I, so zero waste, clever cutting, and making sure that the clothes that, the materials I used were kinder to the environment in every possible way. So I had to go back. So it's fighting against fast fashion, predominantly. Fast fashion is the worst, and it just destroys and makes people's lives. Do you know that there are people who work 24 hours making garments for us to wear one day and then throw it away? So knowing the story behind the things that we wear is important. So I started the R3 campaign in 2014 when the Rana Plaza incident happened. This happened in Bangladesh, and more than 1,000 lives were lost. And for me, I couldn't carry on in the fashion industry knowing that happened. So in that year, rather than work in my studio, because I had been doing this for more than 17 years, I decided that I was going to make sure from then on the message was clear. So I wear things that have words like reduce, reuse, recycle. It's important. Or the R3, that's the R3 campaign. That was one way for me to say, okay, it's just not enough for me to make and people wear. I need to share this. So my advocacy for sustainability and circularity became a thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is why I'm here now.
Yes. On this big platform, so that you teach us more about recycling and reusing, so that we safeguard our environment.
Yes.
I'm curious to know, since you came to Uganda, have you received? How has the reception been?
Well, since I came in 2014 with my work, it's started an awareness about this cloth, and I can see other designers working with it, which is really exciting. I think for me, was one of the battles I had was convincing people it's not leather, it's tree bark. Because when you see it on the runway internationally, like I would go to Vancouver, and everyone thought it was leather or suede, but this is all tree bark. This is tree bark, this
everything is organic.
Yeah,
yes.
and then this is
what we call
this
bark
is
cloth.
upcycled. Yes, it is bark cloth. And in the vernacular, it is olubugo.
Olubugo, yes.
Yes, in the Runyankore, it's a kitoma. So this is why it was so important to make sure that we share this and people get to know about it. And so, just like we're saying, please redirect.
Yeah, interesting. So have you found people, away from the young men that you have to produce the bark, because you said it's only produced by men, away from those in the production unit, have you found other organizations, maybe government, working with you, to work with you or to join this campaign with you?
Yes, I have had, I work with BOTFA, which is really good, but I've also been supported by the Diamond Trust Bank, who supported us. We've got one of our garments in the museum. They sponsored that happening, and then planting trees. And I have, there's a school here, St. Agnes School, primary school, has also supported our work. And then we also have, you know, organizations like, Abroad. And do I measure them or do I leave them out?
You can measure.
Okay. So we have organizations like, I work with BAFS Africa. I work with another organization which is called, okay. So I will share this later. You can share it on your platforms, just so I can make it very clear, because at the moment I don't have.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I know. So what message would you want to give to Ugandans out there as regards the use of organic products when making clothes?
Okay. So the idea is this. Anyone who's making something, if you're creating something and in the process of designing, it doesn't matter if it is clothing, whether it's art, whether it's building, whether it's, you know, whatever you're doing, you have to, I encourage you to start from the point of knowing what you put in what you're doing. Is the idea that you're starting, will it be destructive to the environment? Will it cause damage to people who use it? Will it cause is it using too much plastic that's not recyclable? It's all these things. So designing now requires us to understand our impact on the environment. So from the start point of design, you have to think about the things that you're putting into what you make. And I think for me, that's the most important thing. You have to think about that. One of the pieces that I designed says we have to have, it is responsible consumption and production. So you who's consuming has to think about how you're consuming, what you're consuming, how you use it, how you get rid of it. And the person producing has also to think about what they're putting into what they produce. Can it be repurposed? Can it be reused? All those things are important.
Okay. Yeah. Now, some people have negative thinking when it comes to the back cloth.
Yes.
Especially down here in Buganda, I don't know for other cultures.
Yes.
I know that when we lose someone, it is a culture for us. It's a norm for that person to be, you know, covered in back cloth. So some people associate the back to only that culture norm. What would you say to such people? And of course, others think it is too rough and hard to wear, but yours looks really smooth, if I may touch it. So what would you say to someone out there that only has negative connotations when it comes to the back cloth?
It is knowing our history. That's the starting point. Knowing that this cloth was the oldest cloth made by man in Africa. It is the only thing that Ugandans wore to start with. So it was used for daily wear. They went out in the fields to dig, they wore this. Getting married, they wore this. It was a barter system. It was used for buying and selling things. So it was an integral part of our society then. And our ancestors knew that this cloth was the perfect thing to embalm a body. When you had your person who's your relative passed away, you covered them in this cloth because you wore it all the time. And what it did, it preserved that body until all your relatives came for the funeral. So there's some things that we need to learn and relearn about our own culture, our own heritage.
So it's not a negative thing. It was to embalm the body, preserve it until the burial.
Yes.
Now I'm learning that today myself.
And beyond that.
And beyond that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would be your parting shots to our viewers? And of course, I would like you to tell us more about Back to the Roots.
One of the things I want to encourage people to do is to learn more about this. You know, yes, we have a fear of the bark cloth, but there's a story behind it. It is to us as Ugandans, it is our Asheoke, it is our Bogolan, it is our Shweshwe, it is our traditional cloth. And that's how the rest of Africa views it and the rest of the world. But we have this, this nervousness about using it or being close to it. But understanding what the history was will take away some of the stigma that's attached to it. And I think that's really important. So that's one of the things I want to share. Part of my purpose of the bark to the roots, B2TR, is to make us re-love this cloth. Take it back and make it what it was before. That is one of the things. And also, most importantly, these trees were cut down quite extensively. Very many trees were destroyed across Uganda, because what people don't know, it grew across Uganda, so they had bark cloth making from the southern part of Uganda all the way to the north. So we need to go back there, but we need to plant more trees, because
which
these
trees produce bark?
It is a Mutuba tree.
Mutuba.
Mutuba, Echthoma, Umthoma, or it is the Ficus natalensis. That's the scientific name. So we need to go back to that, get that back on site, and really get people excited about planting trees. If each one of us planted one tree in the corner of their land, it will create a huge impact on our ecosystem, because these trees are perfect for the ecosystem, rebalancing the ecosystem and making sure that environment. And we know now that the world is connected. If Africa's ecosystem is balanced, the rest of the world will do well. We are not on our own. Everyone matters.
We are interconnected. It's like a chain link.
You said it.
Well, I've been having this conversation with Jose Hendo. I was about to call you Tendo, but I think it means the same thing. Jose Hendo, and she is the proprietor for Back to the Roots, an NGO that is spearheading the making of clothes using organic products like the bark cloth. Now, today I have learned that the bark cloth was actually, I've always known that our ancestors used to wear bark clothes as their clothes, but I never knew why when our loved ones pass, they are put in a bark cloth. It wasn't because it is terrible. It was actually a good thing to embalm the body, preserve it as we wait for the relatives to converge, and then we send our loved one off like we do it, because normally the day you pass is not the day you're buried in most of our cultures. So we need to really think positively, and of course think environmental saving, because other things that we are doing are contributing to environmental degradation. And you've had conversations about climate change, the environment. We need to do something, and Hendo is doing something. So what are you doing? Thank you so much for being a part of Good Morning Uganda.
You're welcome.
And for sharing your knowledge about organic cloth making materials like the bark cloth with us. I believe people have learned a lot.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, you're still watching Good Morning Uganda. We continue to entertain you, inspire you, and be part of your morning as we usher you into the weekend. And of course, today we have ushered you into the month of December. Let the festivities begin.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store, or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Juko. Yo. How Chico? Check the shopping man. What's dirty secret.
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Joko, I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Well, it's good to be here with us this morning. Good morning again. And it's time for the GMU Friday Sports. And this time round, of course, like Fridays, we normally have Ruben on the other side giving us an outlook of how the week was, and also looking at the weekend to prepare us into what does seem to be a wonderful weekend of sports. But again, what a time to be a Ugandan when it comes to the fact that the Uganda cricket cranes really made us proud. But that and more is what we're going to be having in our conversations this morning as we prepare you for a lovely, lovely weekend and also a month filled up with lots of festivities. But first, today being a World AIDS Day, or the International World AIDS Day, it is rightfully so for you to go out there and check your HIV status, know your status, so that you can simply get into the month of enjoyment, knowing that you're playing it safe, or you are definitely supposed to be on medication as well, so that you can live happily even with or without HIV. But that aside now, allow me bring in Ruben Pima Chibirango this very morning. Good morning, Ruben.
Morning, how are you?
I'm well.
Good to see you.
Good to host you on Friday.
In the weekend mood.
I am, surely. You know, it's
that.
Also the fact that it's a new month.
Okay.
It's actually my birth month.
Oh.
2 weeks' time, I will be adding a year.
So there will be gifts all over.
There will be gifts, and it will be a weekend.
From the other gender. I'm so sure about the other agenda. But good to hope, good to know that you're going to be having another year. And of course, good to see you healthy. Looking good, I should say. But I was, earlier on, I saw an artist here with a drum. And I wanted to ask you the trousers.
The design.
The design of the trousers. You know, I'm an old man. So that's what I don't understand.
Those are designs that you're like, where is this?
My time, when I was his age, for us, we used used to put on bell bottom. That was our time. And we had, I remember we had trousers, the designers then were Tokyo, we had Ferried and others. Now, when I look at boys of today, or young men
You've seen
like
different designs.
I'm like, what is this?
What is that? I know. And you're not the very first person actually to notice the kind of designs these days. But it's very common that there's slight change of design and how people dress up.
I saw the other day I saw Jude Bellingham on the Ballon d'Or Awards putting on a good coat. Then the trouser was really something I couldn't understand.
It was more like a curtain. Someone said it looked like a curtain.
Then I was watching the Kid and Wright show on actually it is I think it is BBC 5 and Sky Sports 2. I saw that Kerry, the trouser, she was in a jumpsuit, but a lot they had a big flare down there. I was like, is she the skirt or a jumpsuit?
Yeah, it is the design.
So when I look at the drum man with such a trouser,
you're like, now what sort of design is this? Later on, we shall as well ask him more of the same. Ruben, let's start off with the cricket cranes in here in regards to qualifying for their first T20 World Cup.
Yeah, of course. Yesterday, the Minister of Education and Sports, that is the First Lady, Janet Museveni, paid tribute to the cricket team for that milestone achievement. I mean, I hosted the coach Onyang and, of course, the captain, the cricket captain, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
and
they were here too.
In the morning. The captain told me that we are not going to participate. You're going to achieve ODI status. And I mocked them and said, but that's what they normally tell me. I mean,
when they're going into any
I've
competition.
ever hosted here at Basindo Nyango. I told them that you're going to win AFCON and you come back, we just leave after group stages. So I told him that I don't think Uganda is good enough to qualify for the T20. Little did I know
that they were
that
ready.
They would just get ready. And the coach told me that I asked the coach how I go to motivate the players. Said, I tell my boys, go and enjoy yourselves. Go and know that whatever you are doing, you are representing yourselves and the country. Now, when news broke in yesterday that we have won actually the status to be part of the World Cup, I was so impressed by the cricket team. And Mama came out to actually pay tribute to the team, and she's proud of the team. I even saw a tweet from Muzei, the president, also congratulating the team for that achievement. So for me, it's really Uganda booked their ticket to the global tournament after defeating Rwanda by 9 wickets yesterday at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Africa Regional qualifying Namibia. And of course, the countries that were part of this were Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe is a big cricket force, if you ask me.
It is.
But Uganda was, I think we are either lucky or we are good, and we are so good that they couldn't defeat us.
Some of the cricket faithful were actually saying it is not a shock for them because the team has been performing so well in the past 2 years. And this is like an effort being paid off, really.
And of course, the First Lady, let me quote what she said.
Okay.
She said that we thank God for gifting you and Uganda such a massive stage for you to showcase your talents and achieve even more. Let's go to the big dance. That was the formula at the First Lady. So paying tribute to the team that won the ODI status. Then he said that she went away to say that Uganda booked their tickets to the global tournament after defeating Rwanda, like I said earlier on. And of course, Uganda won 5 of 6 games at the qualifier in Namibia, including a 5-wicket win over Test playing Zimbabwe. That was actually our first game. And I thought it was just Kugwira. You know the Kugwira.
And then you were like, how can we be so good against Zimbabwe?
I was like, so I didn't expect Uganda. By the way, I'm trying to be negative. But I thought the first game was more of a Kugwira than people who were into it. But again, my mind went back to the show I had with the coach and the captain.
How they were prepared.
Yeah, and they told me that we are not going to participate. We must come back home with something. And indeed, they have come back home with something.
Yes.
So we appreciate them.
And well, besides football, you get to realize that when you look at basketball, now cricket, these are some of the sporting activities that are making Uganda more proud lately.
True.
And I think the footballers should now also really think about that because they do take the biggest share when it comes to the money in there. I don't want to go in there.
No, you know it is very easy. I'll tell you, I'll defend football here. It's easier to go and win the ODI or be part of the T20 World Cup cricket. You are playing for 3 nations. In football, it's a qualifier. I mean, there's a
You're
group.
seeded with so many
there's a group
teams.
where there's Algeria, where there is Togo, and let's assume Malawi, and there's Uganda. So it's going to be a walkover against those teams. Then from there, you go into wait. I'll only sit here and say, okay, the cricket team has done well when they have gone to World Cup and performed. It's not easy to qualify for a tournament, football-wise, and it's never easy to go to a tournament and achieve. We've seen teams like Italy fail to qualify for the World Cup.
Yes,
because it's a big.
it's so difficult by the way to qualify.
So you play against Namibia, against Rwanda, against Zimbabwe. That is cricket. You can qualify, but in football, it's not as easy as people think.
Ruben, let's get now to football. The Uganda Premier League this Friday. The action returns. Wakiso Giants is taking on Bull, and then URA is taking on Express. King David Obua has received high praise from most of the Ugandan football supporters, saying he's bringing in some good flair of football at the taxman's place, and basing on some few videos that were trending in relation to their loss away to Vipers. It was, they were actually showing that the team is now playing some good football.
For me, why I'm laughing about Basonko, David Obua as a player was a fantastic player, good attitude, gifted with the talent. And of course, we knew there was time I watched David Obua when we played against, I think it was Mauritius, when he took on, he was playing alongside Noah Kasule, and of course the late Wile Jambade. I was so impressed by Obua's attitude. And there was time when we actually was taken off the pitch in Nambole. I think it was 2011 when he threw his shirt off and said, "How could you substitute me? I'm the best player in Uganda." That was a good attitude. Now Obua, the coach, is different. It's easier to talk about football or to play football nicely, but being a great coach is difficult. You've seen players like Jackson Mayanja Mia, one of the best in my generation. He's not been a great coach. You go to play, you go to Abdullah or you go to Mike Mutebi, who was never that fancy player,
but he's a
good coach. Yes. So David Obua, transferring your talent from the time you retire into coaching is difficult, and few coaches do that. I mean, who knows Jose Mourinho? He never played anywhere. Diego Maradona was a coach for Argentina in 2010. He considered 4 against Germany. But Maradona was the best player in the world. So coaching is difficult. Now David Obua, he's got to tune his mindset. He's no longer that kind of, he's not a player, as a coach. So what he teaches his players matters a lot. But the big game today, I don't see either clubs are doing great. I mean, against each other. Express have suffered a lot deep in form, and of course administrative issues. Then URA is actually in a new system, a new coach, a new culture. So they are not yet used to the Obua style. So and I think it's not yet the Obua team. It's still the other coaches' team
of the URA that we know.
Yes.
Well, of course, you can as well go out there and catch some action for the Uganda Premier League. Let's support our local leagues, of course, because this is the same way or the same spirit that we want in regards to supporting Ugandan football. But besides that, now let's talk European football. This particular time we have some action coming up. But before we even go into that, midweek we had some Champions League football. I did see you yesterday talking about the idea that Manchester United, losing 3, going 3 goals up and then conceding or failing to walk away with a win away to Galatasaray. A game that I watched as well, but you did tell me there was an interesting one between Napoli and Real Madrid, and by the look of things, when I did catch up with the highlights, it was a good game that I really missed.
Talking about Manchester United, I saw a message from their coach Erik ten Hag.
Yes,
he actually did come out to say that Andre Onana, if he doesn't improve, is going to be dropped from the first team. And Onana, because there were 2 howlers, if you
the
ask
free
me,
kicks,
the 2 free kicks from Hakim Ziyech, the Moroccan. Any goalkeeper, even if Moatenga would actually save those, I would actually not concede such goals. And I've seen Andre Onana conceding silly goals in that Manchester United goal. So as it's a wake-up call for the manager and of course for the players. I mean, we don't score 3 goals, 3-1 up, 54 minutes, and you go and gift a goal. I mean, you don't give a goal.
Actually, Sky was showing that he has conceded 33 goals so far this season.
And you don't blame the defense. I mean, most of them are howlers. I'll tell you that best teams start from the goal from the back. The great Arsenal team had David Seaman in goal and the back four with Martin Keown, Tony Adams, Dixon, and Nigel Winterburn.
Because they said defense builds you,
yes,
gets you titles.
When those players left, Arsene Wenger came up with Jens Lehmann and the back four that had Bakolo and Sol Campbell, or that had players like Lole Tamemaya and Ashley Cole.
Lauren as well.
Yes, and then the Manchester squads, that the greatest squads of then, the
Gary Neville's and Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, true. The 99 team had Schmeichel in goal. Then they had Ron Johnson and Jaap Stam in defense. Then the two wing backs was Dennis Irene and Gary Neville.
But all these goalkeepers were
and
up
Schmeichel
there.
was the best goalkeeper in the world by the time. Look at when they played Arsenal at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final, and they conceded the penalty against Phil Neville, fouls Ray Parlour. It's a penalty, and Peter Schmeichel stands big in that goal and saves it. Now, what makes a great goalkeeper and a big club like that is how you can contain pressure. How you can avoid howlers. So for me, Andrew Nana is an African like me, but it's not.
You wish him well. What do we have in the leagues, though, as we're heading into the weekend? What are some matches that you want the viewers to look up for?
Of course, the pick out for tomorrow, that is in England. I've actually seen Newcastle against Man U. That game will be on at actually 11 p.m. And when, basically on the current form, Alejandro Garnacho is playing well, yes. But the way they're conceding goals, it's really a worry. I mean, you don't be a Manchester to concede such silly goals. So I feel sorry
but conceding.
For Manchester because they might be traveling to St. James's Park with Alexander Isak and Wilson in such a great form. Plus Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton. I don't see Manchester coming out.
Is a very good bully.
I like him. I like the size of Joe Linton. So if you ask me, I don't bet and I don't think I can predict games. But based on the current form and how Newcastle is playing, I don't see
United picking any
because
point
Newcastle went to PSG and got a result. So the atmosphere in that Newcastle camp is really way up there. So I really don't see. For me, I don't see Manchester winning. But of course, that's a game of cricket out in England. Maybe the Chelsea. Chelsea not. Manchester Spurs on Sunday. That will be at 7:30 p.m.
That is also
a good one. Yes. Yeah, you can. Those who love the Premier League can catch those games. Then of course in the Serie A, the one I can talk about tomorrow is Milan. Milan will be in action, not with a big team. It's Frosinone. Then of course on Sunday in the Serie A, there's Napoli. Inter is the big one. Napoli Inter.
Inter is really on good form.
Yeah, true. And
from 3 down versus Benfica. They're playing some good football.
And of course in La Liga, not a lot to talk about. Maybe Barcelona Atletico, good one on Sunday at 11 p.m. But other games are the usual games.
Okay. Yeah. And of course, that's it for our sports this morning. On Monday, Ruben will return to give you what happened across the weekend. You can look up that as well. I know he didn't mention about Arsenal, but Arsenal has the chance to continue its stay at the top.
Yeah, they scored 6 against Wolves, and I see the system is really doing wonders. But I watched the game between Arsenal over the weekend
against Brentford.
It had to take a flop from Kai Havertz to get the goal for Arsenal.
Well, after the break, we'll return with more with our guest artists coming in. Ruben will be returning on Monday to give you more of
but after I'll be here at 1:30 with Michael.
Oh, he will be here with Michael Senfuma or 1:30 to discuss more about Ugandan football and as well as the international league. So stick around to UBC, you'll get more of that as well. But for now, we take a short break. We'll return with our guest performer as we close up the show this morning.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Juko.
Yo.
Hawa Chikuwa. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
This Preno, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
You are still watching Good Morning Uganda with me, Olive Monica Najuma, and of course I have Jerome Paul Sonko. We are still entertaining and inspiring you, but of course on the side of entertainment, it is not mainly us. It is Maganda Shakul doing his thing with his drum, what we call Engalabi. Chantal earlier called it the long drum. Yeah, but we are here to take you back to our roots, and just a moments ago actually we were speaking to Jose Hendo, who is a fashion designer using organic materials, and her NGO is called Back to the Roots. So today it's all about the roots, it's all about the norms, it's all about culture. That is what we are doing this morning. And of course, Maganda Shakul, what are you giving us now?
Still I'll be giving you like some tracks still from the EP as elaborated to you at first. The EP called Tutawale. So basically I'll be like giving you some soundtrack with the lyrics, but improvising with the drumming.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Tutawale, it sounds like something I would watch in a movie called Nambi. You know, those like folklore, you know, those stories they used to tell us. I don't know if you ever got to experience that, but me growing up would sit like around the fire. The fire, Chisonko, did you ever get that? Of you're in the village, grandmother, you sit around the fire, they tell you kasoli, boiled maize, yes. And nice. Okay, so you are going to take us through that, and my viewer, I'm sure you're going to be entertained, because this is stuff that is rare these days. Most people are used to chidandali.
Though I only have a question for Maganda here. I need to understand, what inspired you to do this type of experimental music?
Basically, like first what inspired me, it was more I was seeing like in Uganda we have like a rich culture, but when you look into this, you know, most of the people, they are not using like the cultures we have here, you know. So this was like my base, you know. Was like we have a lot of, you know, like rich cultures, rich instruments here, like rich music instruments. But why, you know, don't we use this, you know, to create, you know, like different stuffs, and also, you know, get them out over there, you know, like as you say, most of the artists this time, you know, they are more focused on to like this urbanized music, you know, but still we have our own things, you know. We still have our own stuff where we come from, like our ancestors.
Oh,
we
okay.
are doing music, you know, since long time ago, and they were using these instruments.
All right.
So,
Monica, I think I will definitely take it back to you now. But for me, I will definitely say to all our viewers, I wish you a blessed month of December, one filled with love and action of festivities, I should say. But today is the International World AIDS Day. I remind you to go and check your HIV status. Know your status as we kickstart off this particular month. As for me, a lovely weekend as well.
That's right. We have just started the month of November 2023. And if you didn't know, this month has 5 weekends. Use that information as you see fit. But as you do that, I need to add my voice to Sonko's voice. You need to know your status. Go and check. Today, HIV/AIDS, if you're found with it, it is no longer a death sentence. We have medication. You can live a fruitful life even with the disease. But if you are not sick, if you find that you are negative, safeguard that safeguard that negative status so that you do not have to add yourself onto the almost 1.4 million Ugandans that are living with HIV/AIDS. We do not have enough money to treat the entire Uganda if they had HIV. So the meds we have right now are enough for the 1.4 million people that are already sick. It's incumbent upon you to safeguard your life so that you live a more fruitful life where you don't have to depend on medicine. So look into the prevention methods, look into the medicine that is on board so that you know and find more information. Today, honestly, getting HIV/AIDS is partly because you're being reckless, because we have so much information and many resources at our disposal to live a very healthy life. I'll leave you with Maganda Shakul to entertain us with Engalabi and a lot more. And from me and from the family at Good Morning Uganda, we say have a lovely weekend and we'll catch you on Monday.
thank you.
Talk of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Junko. Yo. What? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
This Preno, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and if it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
The Baganda call it Munene Munene. The Banyankole Muhango Muhango. The Acholi Dit Dong Dit. The Bagishu Humobafuwafu. It means king size freshness for all. Movit Family Soap is giving you a fresh start for your family. This soap is indeed so big tagwerera muwangazi ate it has a great kawowo onaba nonaba kale nonabira ddala available in coconut, aloe vera, lemon and rose. Find the king size Movit family soap in all Dukas, next supermarkets close to you. Movit all day confidence.
I've seen a number of community members out there that have formed themselves into groups and have identified enterprises, agricultural enterprises, rice and all that, and they've actually been successfully cultivating them. They've gone ahead, the project has gone ahead and also introduced small-scale industries like the rice huller, the grinding mills and all that are managed by the groups. All these are successes.
City market lies in 4 acres of land with a population of about 4,000 registered market vendors who are doing business in this facility. We really appreciate the initiative of the government to come up with this project that is benefiting not only the business community within the market, but the entire community within actually sub-region. When you look at the market previously, the market used to be not like this one. With the market vendors, they used to sell under papyrus reeds. And we used also to ferry our goods, come and sell, then you take it in the stores or elsewhere. But now, due to this infrastructural development, the vendors now, they are able now to sell, cover your goods, leave it there, and you come and get it the next day when it is safe. The safety of our goods and the convenience of doing business has improved greatly. That makes the local community very, very, very happy when they are doing business in the market now. I want to appeal to my fellow vendors and the community, of the entire Chile sub-region, that we need to embrace and support the government so that they continue also bringing us more development in our region.